Hello, welcome back to the Grumpy Gardener, and I'm Kerry Cox. I just wanted to give you a quick update on how the garden's progressing and how things are doing right now. So what I'm going to do is just kind of walk around the garden and give you guys, like I said, a quick update and just show you how things are progressing, what's improving, what's not improving, and maybe give you a couple of tips and hints. So let's start off in our first garden box. So once again, the pumpkin is just not doing it. I've been putting in Sluggo to kill all the roly-polies, potato bugs, and nothing seems to be working. So I am afraid that the heat is just taking its toll on this poor pumpkin. So we'll see how it goes. The two tomato plants here seem to be doing okay. They're doing better than last time. Both seem to be progressing. They're still not where they should be at this point in time, but we're getting there. This tomato plant, however, seems to be doing extremely well. And this little guy seems to be growing, but needs more watering. And as you can tell right here, the onions are doing very poorly. The heat is just really taking its toll on all my plants. In fact, I come out and I water probably 2, sometimes even 3 times a day, and then it waters at night using the irrigation system, and nothing seems to be working. So I'm going to guesstimate probably a quarter to even a third of my onions are not going to make it this year. But it is what it is. You can't control the weather. It's been over 100 degrees for the past almost 10 days, but it's at least been in the 90s for that same amount of time. It's hit 100 a few times. So anyway, it's extremely warm, extremely dry, trying to keep everything wet. As you can tell, it's still a little bit wet from last night's watering, and hopefully it'll stay cool today and we can recover a little bit. So the tomato plants, I'm gonna have to zoom out here because they've gotten so big, are doing quite well. So they're all heirlooms, as I've mentioned before, and they all seem to be doing well. This little guy is one that I planted from before, when the other one, I think it wasn't a green zebra, it was the Cherokee purple. It just didn't make it, so I transplanted this little guy over here. They're all doing quite well. One thing I like to mention that I do quite often is I like to give my plants a haircut. So when they reach a certain stage, they really don't need to grow any further. What they need to do instead is start putting their effort and energy into producing fruit. So what I like to do is, by giving them a haircut, I trim away these extra branches right here and just make certain that they're just gone, because it's putting all this effort into creating more growth when it really should be putting effort into creating more fruit. Now, as you can see, there are a few fruits already blossoming on this one. This is a striped German heirloom tomato. So nothing as of yet has actually turned color, but it's progressing. And there are periodic cool downs during the day, and you can see that there's even a tomato growing right there. So they are starting to germinate, even though the weather has been over 90 degrees, and it's really counter to what we're trying to do and counter to what they're trying to accomplish. It still seems to be working. Now this plant, I don't know what's wrong with it. It's also an heirloom tomato. It's a pineapple, just like the one next to it, but it does not seem to be doing well. I've given it extra water. It looks a little anemic, so I'm going to try putting some fertilizer in and seeing if that helps a little bit more. But I don't think it's it's a lost cause yet. It's not quite yet gone. Again, another heirloom pineapple tomato, and same thing over here. Now, there's a couple of varieties of tomato I wanted to mention. One's determinate and the other is indeterminate. So determinate tomatoes are ones that usually get to be a certain height and then they stop and they don't grow any further. And determinates usually become more bushy, they yield good fruit, but they stop growing at a certain point. Most of my tomatoes have been indeterminate, meaning that they continue to grow even beyond as far as they can. And so that's why I like to give them a haircut, just to kind of cut back on everything. So here we have a big boy, and as you can see, I wanted to mention this, a lot of the leaves are curling and twisting. And as far as I can tell, that's due to either lack of nutrition or else lack of water, probably the latter. So I'm gonna have to try and continue to do better on watering and making certain that they get a sufficient amount of water. These other guys over here are doing pretty well. None of them have as of yet really borne any fruit, but they've had plenty of blossoms. A lot of blossoms have died off due to the heat, but as you can tell, there's plenty of blossoms, and so we still have plenty of time. It's nearing the end of July now, so hopefully August will be really the big producer. My carrots and beets are doing quite well. Just wanted to focus in right here. As you can see, I got them pretty evenly spaced, so there's just right enough room between each of the beets for them to grow to their maximum height. I'm probably going to have to harvest them today or early next week so that I can get them pickled. So you'll cook them up and put in this pickling spices and then put them into jars and can them. So the tomatoes over here are doing okay. They're kind of slumped over. The ghost peppers, these two are doing better. That one, so-so. The Anaheim chilies are doing good. The Carolina Reaper over there is doing really well. That's the the second one up. But the three largest ones are, of course, the Anaheim chilies. And this poor little guy here, I don't know what to do about him. I think he might be a lost cause as well. So strawberries are all done for the season. We're good there. Watermelon's doing extremely well. I have plenty of blossoms and plenty of fruit coming on. Let's see over there. There's a watermelon. There's another watermelon right in there. And this is the one I really like. This watermelon right here. And this is a sugar baby. This sugar baby is approximately the size of a softball. So he's doing quite well. And plenty of other blossoms. I've seen a lot of bees come around, and so hopefully they're pollinating and helping with the germination process. I've given away probably 3 or 4 really nice zucchinis lately, and I have 2 more coming on that are just about ready to pick. They're still less than a foot in length, so pretty soon. We had some friends over from Alabama the other day, and she was mentioning there's this sauce you can put on zucchini and then when you grill it up, it just makes it taste wonderful. So I'm gonna have to try that out. The beechnut squash is finally doing better. There's lots of blossoms. Here's a nice, big, beautiful blossom right there. Looks really nice. And a couple others that are coming on, and a few more back in there, as you can tell. So hopefully we'll have some beechnut squash here fairly soon. The spaghetti squash is about ready to harvest. There's one right there. There's a couple more back there, and they're already starting to take on that nice, not just pale beige tone, but more of a yellowish tone, which means that means they're about ready to harvest. This one over here is almost ready, maybe another few days, but these 2 over here, I'll probably pick them today and grill them up and cook them and have some spaghetti squash for dinner with a little bit of butter and salt and pepper on. So that is about it. So just kind of wrap things up, I just wanted to let you know that even though it's probably not even 11 o'clock in the morning, it's already in the 90s, and I am just dripping wet, as you can probably tell. But I wanted to give you a quick overview of what's going on. Behind me, as you can see, is my compost. I mowed the lawn the other day and put all the grass in, and if you just reach down inside, you can feel just how hot it is. And I'm about ready to start harvesting some of that good loamy soil from down below. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed talking about plants and how they're progressing. And let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Talk to you later.